For 2 years, I raised the Mafia king's daughter as my own. I banded her knees. I braided her hair. I slept on the floor beside her crib when the gunshots outside made her scream. Then his bride walked in, slapped me across the face at his daughter's birthday party, and told 3-year-old Sophia that I was the hired whore, that I never loved her, that her father paid me by the hour like everything else in his world. My little girl, the child I'd rocked since she was 5 months old, looked up at me with those enormous green eyes and whispered,
"Is that true, Isa? Do you only stay because of money?"
I knelt down, pressed my lips to her hair, and said, "I stay because you're my heart." Then his bride ordered 2 armed soldiers to drag me out, and Luca, the most feared don in New York, the man I had silently, stupidly loved for 2 years, stood in the doorway of his bulletproof mansion and watched them throw me into the rain, without lifting a single finger. What none of them knew, not the bride, not the soldiers, not even him, was that I wasn't Isabella Santos, the nobody nanny from a Bronx staffing agency. I was Isabella Valentin de Rossi, only granddaughter of Domenico de Rossi, head of the de Rossi crime dynasty, the family that controlled every shipping port Luca needed to move his product across the Atlantic. He just let his bride throw me out like garbage. Let's see how his next shipment crosses the ocean. The rain was biblical. November in New York, the kind of cold that punishes you for existing. I stood on the gravel driveway of the Moretti compound, 12 acres of fortress behind iron gates and armed guards, wearing a thin dress and no coat because his bride had ripped it off my shoulders when she grabbed me. My cheek still burned where she'd hit me. Natasha Volkov, Russian oligarch's daughter. Platinum hair, ice blue eyes, cheekbones carved from cruelty. She'd appeared in Luca's life 4 months ago, a strategic alliance disguised as a love story, and she'd spent every day since systematically erasing me from Sophia's world. Reducing my hours, countermanding my routines, telling Sophia that real mothers don't look like me, don't talk like me, don't come from where I come from. And Luca let her. The man who ran a criminal empire with iron precision, who could order a man's death with a nod, couldn't tell his future wife to stop destroying his daughter. The guard at the gate, Marco, who I'd taught to make Sophia's favorite pasta, who called me Sorellina and let Sophia ride on his shoulders, opened the gate with his eyes on the ground.
"I'm sorry, Isa.
He muttered.
Orders.
I know, Marco.
Your things."
There's nothing in that house that belongs to me. The biggest lie I'd ever told. Everything in that house belonged to me. 2 years of lullabies and first steps, and skinned elbows, and nightmares chased away. 2 years of being a mother to a child the underworld had forgotten needed one. I walked through the gate, into the rain, into the dark. I had come to New York 2 years ago to escape the De Rossi name. My grandfather called it a holiday. My therapist called it self-destruction. I called it the only option left, because growing up as the heir to a criminal empire meant that every kiss was a transaction. Every friendship was leverage, and I had stopped believing anyone could love me for me by the time I was 21. So I'd vanished. New name, new history. A NAMPI position through an agency that didn't run background checks because half their clients couldn't pass one either. And I'd walked into the Moretti compound and met Sophia. 5 months old, motherless. Her biological mother had been killed in a rival family's attack, a fact Luca never discussed, a wound he sealed with silence. Sophia had burned through 3 nannies. She screamed at everyone. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't sleep. She stopped screaming the first time I held her. She grabbed my finger, exhaled one long shuddering breath, and went still. Like she'd been waiting for me. Like her tiny body recognized mine as safe before her brain could form the word. Luca watched from across the room. This man, 6'3", dark-eyed, built like a weapon wrapped in a suit, watched his raging daughter go silent in a stranger's arms, and something cracked in his expression.
"How?"
He asked. "She chose me," I said. He stared at me.
"She doesn't choose anyone."
"She chose me. For 2 years, that was enough. Sophia chose me, and I chose her, and Luca existed at the edges. Dangerous, magnetic, devastating, in the way of men who carry violence like cologne and tenderness like a secret. I fell in love with him on a Sunday. He came home at 3 a.m., blood on his knuckles, exhaustion in his eyes, and found me asleep on Sophia's floor because she'd had a nightmare. He didn't wake me. He laid a blanket over me, kissed Sophia's forehead, and sat in the hallway outside her door until morning. I knew because I wasn't really asleep. I should have run that night. A smart woman would have run. Instead, I stayed. And now I was standing in the rain outside his gate, barefoot, my shoes still inside, by Sophia's bed where I'd kicked them off to dance with her, with nothing but a phone full of videos of a little girl I might never hold again. Grandfather. It's Isabella. I need to come home.
Cara mia.
His voice, old, iron, the voice of a man who had built an empire on blood and loyalty.
Tell me everything.
Not on the phone.
The car is already coming. I tracked your phone the moment you left the
Compound.
A pause.
Did he hurt you?
Not the way you think.
Every way is the way I think.
His voice went cold, the kind of cold preceded wars.
Come home, Isabella, and then we'll discuss what happens to men who throw away Derusi women.
The DeRossi estate on Long Island was not a home. It was a kingdom, 30,000 square feet of old-world Italian architecture surrounded by 100 acres, guarded by 40 armed men, and ruled by one 82-year-old patriarch who had never lost a war. The car my grandfather sent, an armored black Mercedes because Domenico de Rossi considered anything less than bulletproof to be casual, pulled through the gates at 2 a.m. The driver, a former military operative named Carlo, handed me a wool coat, a thermos of espresso, and a sealed envelope without a word. The envelope contained a handwritten note in my grandfather's meticulous script. Your room is ready. Your cat missed you. The consigliarity is awake. Welcome home, Tesora. D. My cat, Cleopatra. A massive Maine Coon I'd raised from a kitten, now presumably the size of a lynx. I'd left her with my grandfather because the Moretti compound didn't allow animals. Luca said pets were a liability. As if loving something small and helpless was a weakness. As if that wasn't exactly what he'd hired me to do. The front door opened before I reached it. My grandfather stood in the marble foyer, 82, silver-haired, wearing a cashmere robe and a Patek Philippe, because Domenico de Rosso dressed for respect even at 2 a.m. He looked at me, barefoot, soaked, a handprint still fading on my cheek. His eyes went to the mark first, then to my bare feet, then to my face.
Who hit you?
Quiet, lethal, his fiancée.
And he allowed this?
He watched. My grandfather's jaw tightened. In the world we came from, a man who let his woman be struck in his own house was not a man at all. And a man who let it happen to someone under his roof, someone who cared for his child, had committed an offense that demanded answer.
The child?
They told her I never loved her. My voice cracked. First crack since the gate. They told her I was paid to pretend. Something shifted in my grandfather's face. Not rage, he was past rage. This was the cold, mathematical expression of a man calculating the precise cost of retribution.
Inside, now.
Cleopatra found me in the hallway. 15 pounds of fur and attitude. Winding between my legs, purring so loudly the sound echoed off marble. I sank to the floor, gathered her against my chest, and cried. My grandfather stood over me. He didn't speak. He placed one hand on my head, the hand that had signed death orders, the hand that had held me as an infant when my parents were killed in the same war that took Sophia's mother. And he let me break. When I was done, he led me to the kitchen, placed a bowl of soup in front of me, sat across the table with his espresso and his patience.
Eat, then talk.
I ate. I talked. 2 years. Every detail. The love I'd hidden. The bride who'd arrived like a missile 4 months ago. Natasha Volkov, daughter of Viktor Volkov, head of the Russian syndicate that controlled Eastern European distribution. The marriage was an alliance, ports for product, territory for territory, 2 empires merging through a wedding that had nothing to do with love. She's not jealous of me as a woman. She's jealous of me as Sophia's mother. Sophia calls for me at night. Sophia reaches for me, not her. And Natasha can't stand it.
And Morelli?
He's trapped. The alliance with the Volkovs is worth billions. He won't risk it for a nanny.
He won't risk it for you. There's a difference.
He opened his laptop.
Now, let me show you something.
The screen displayed a shipping manifest. Moretti Operations. Routes the ports.
Luca Moretti moves 70% of his product through 3 Atlantic ports.
My grandfather said.
Newark, Baltimore, Savannah.
He tapped the screen.
All 3 are controlled by De Rossi Logistics, our docks, our crews, our customs contacts. Without our ports, his product sits on the water and rots.
He doesn't know.
He knows the ports belong to De Rossi. He doesn't know that De Rossi's granddaughter spent 2 years singing his daughter to sleep.
My grandfather closed the laptop.
He discarded you like a servant. Let's remind him that servants don't control his supply chain.
My phone buzzed. A text from Marco, the gate cop. A photo. Sophia in her pajamas, standing at the front door of the compound, clutching the stuffed rabbit I'd given her, the one she called Isa Bunny. She was screaming, tears streaming. Behind her, Natasha stood with crossed arms, unmoved. Below the photo, she's been at the door for an hour. She thinks you're coming back. They won't let me comfort her. I'm sorry, Sorelina. I thought you should know. I set the phone down. Looked at my grandfather. Whatever we do, Sophia comes first.
Always.
Domenico De Rosso straightened his watch.
But first, we teach Luca Morelli that the woman he threw into the rain is the one person who holds his empire in her hands.